What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Madden 17 commentary. Do me a favor, take a moment, hit the like button, subscribe button, criticism in the comment section, Twitter, shutdown safety is my username. Madden 17 is going to feature one of the biggest improvements to connected franchise mode the series has ever seen. Because of that, I'm going to go through each team with you, make sure that you're set when it comes time to hit the start button and you're in the right place going forward with your team of choice. Now, one of the favorite teams of Madden players offline and online is the Seattle Seahawks. Now, last year they went 10-6, but things could have been a lot worse because they started 2-4. Now, it's hard to call Jamarcus Webb a key addition, but Chris Clemens most certainly is. But to most people, what's going to stand out here is the losses. Beast mode, one of everyone's favorite players to control. Marshawn Lynch is gone. Russell Okung, J.R. Sweezy, Brandon Mebane, Bruce Irvin, those are some big names that you're not going to have on the Seahawks roster this year, and obviously some things we're going to have to talk about filling going forward. Now, on offense, things are going to start with Russell Wilson. This is going to be the first time Russell Wilson won't be teamed with Marshawn Lynch, but down the stretch last year, if you're downloading roster updates, then you got a little preview of what it's like to rely on Thomas Rawls. Now, Rawls had some health issues, but if he can stay healthy, he showed a lot of promise, averaged over 5 yards a carry, but the issue ultimately is there's not much by the way of depth behind him. Now, the other thing you enjoyed last year was Jimmy Graham's addition, but fans of the franchise are going to have to wonder how his devastating, gruesome injury and his performance issues last year are going to affect his ratings. But to that same point, you also have Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett, who kind of came into their own. I think Lockett's going to have a breakout season, so it very well may balance out that any loss Graham may see will be made up by increases to Baldwin and Lockett. Now, on defense, what's made the Legion of Boom so great, put them on the cover of the game a few years ago. Most of those key cogs are still in place. You talk about Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas. Those are really top 5 players at their positions. You also get great pass rushers like Michael Bennett, Cliff Averill, and as we talked about, adding Chris Clemens into the mix. Now, the linebacking core may miss Bruce Irvin, but make no mistake about it, KJ Wright, Bobby Wagner, they're not slouches, and you're pretty much going to be set there as well. Having said that, you're kind of walking in to a Super Bowl contender. While it's difficult to pick out any real glaring weaknesses, I think the running back depth is something you certainly need to address. Despite the rebuild last year, Russell Okung's loss can't be understated. Gary Gillum should step in to take his place, but I think he's going to struggle a lot. And in terms of the rebuild, obviously, if you don't know, during the bye week, they kind of moved a lot of offensive pieces around, and that's obviously going to be reflected in the lineup in the game this year, but I think you'd be best served to go out and try to find some depth in the line. Now, when we go and talk about the secondary, there's not really much to talk about because, as we discussed, most of your main guys are still there. As a luxury, I would consider maybe bringing in another defensive back for depth, maybe Brown or Rashid, or technically looking to get another starter if possible, could kind of improve the pass rush situation that they have by default because you're going to have a little bit better coverage. So to me, that is how I would look at the Seattle Seahawks. Love to know how you guys would. Appreciate you checking out this video. Back in the week with more commentary.